In a world where we're endlessly juggling deadlines, relationships, social pressures, and digital noise, mental health often becomes a silent casualty, pushed aside until we're overwhelmed, exhausted, or just can't carry on. Welcome to this in-depth journey through the vast and often misunderstood world of mental health treatment. Whether you're navigating the turbulent waters of anxiety, struggling under the weight of depression, living with bipolar disorder, or carrying an invisible ache you can't name, know that you're far from alone. 1 in 5 adults will face a mental health challenge this year, a staggering reminder that this pain, though deeply personal, is also universal. Mental wellness isn't a one-size-fits-all fix. It's a multi-toolkit, a spectrum of possibilities tailored to unique needs and evolving life circumstances. Today, we'll unpack this comprehensive toolbox, from lifestyle practices that ground us, to transformative therapies, to medications that offer biochemical balance, and finally to electroconvulsive therapy, an often misunderstood but profoundly effective option for those in deepest distress. This video is your invitation to explore what truly helps, what science supports, and what countless people have used to reclaim their lives from suffering. Let's begin at the roots. Daily habits that shape our mental baseline far more than we often realize. Exercise isn't just about fitness. It's a biochemical catalyst, boosting mood-lifting endorphins and easing anxiety in ways comparable to medication for mild to moderate depression. You don't need a gym membership or a six-pack, just consistent movement. A simple walk outdoors, light yoga, or dancing in your living room can ignite profound emotional shifts. Nutrition, too, plays a surprising role in mood regulation. The brain thrives on specific nutrients, omega-3s from fish and flax seeds, antioxidants from berries and leafy greens, and protein to help build neurotransmitters. Sugar crashes and inflammatory foods can wreak havoc on our mood, while mindful nourishment helps smooth emotional turbulence. And sleep, so often sacrificed in our culture of hustle, isn't a luxury. It's medicine. During those critical hours of rest, our brains recalibrate, process emotion, and restore balance. Creating a sleep-friendly routine, cool, dark spaces, screen-free wind downs can work wonders. Add mindfulness, the simple but powerful act of staying present, and you've got a toolkit that supports not only prevention but also healing. These practices, while deceptively simple, form the bedrock of mental resilience. When the noise in our heads becomes too loud, too confusing, therapy can provide the clarity we can't find alone. A skilled therapist acts as both witness and guide, helping us spot patterns, build new skills, and reconnect with parts of ourselves we've lost or buried. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is one of the most researched and effective treatments out there. It teaches us to challenge distorted thoughts like, "I'm worthless," or "nobody cares," and replace it with more realistic, empowering beliefs. It's not about thinking positive, but about thinking accurately. Dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, which is especially helpful for those who feel emotions intensely or have difficulty regulating reactions, blends mindfulness with techniques to manage crisis moments, strengthen relationships, and reduce self-harm. Psychodynamic therapy, on the other hand, digs deeper, exploring childhood experiences and unconscious forces that shape our current struggles. Meanwhile, group therapy offers a kind of healing you can't get alone, the experience of being seen, heard, and supported by others walking similar paths. Finding the right therapist might take a few tries, but the right fit can be life-changing. Therapy isn't just for crises. It's for growth, transition, and building a deeper understanding of who we are. When mental health struggles stem in part from chemical imbalances or brain-based vulnerabilities, medication can be a critical piece of the puzzle. Unfortunately, stigma and misunderstanding still cloud public perception of psychiatric medications. Antidepressants like SSRIs, fluoxetine, sertraline, escitalopram don't numb or artificially boost mood. They help regulate the brain's natural chemistry, giving people the emotional range and energy to function and heal. If SSRIs fall short, other classes like SNRIs, mood stabilizers for bipolar disorder, or carefully prescribed anti-anxiety medications can provide additional support. Every person's brain is unique, and what works for one may not work for another. This is why the process often involves trial, adjustment, and patience. Side effects can arise before benefits are felt, which can be discouraging. But with the right prescriber and a little time, most people do find something that works. And medications work best when combined with therapy. Science consistently shows that together, they create a synergy that maximizes both biological and psychological healing. Whether medication is a short-term bridge or long-term maintenance, choosing it is a valid, courageous act of self-care, not a sign of failure or weakness. For individuals facing the most severe and unrelenting mental health challenges, where therapy and medication haven't offered sufficient relief, there exists a treatment that's often feared yet can be profoundly life-saving: electroconvulsive therapy, or ECT. It's one of the most stigmatized and misunderstood interventions in mental health, thanks largely to outdated and sensationalized portrayals in movies and media. But the reality of modern ECT couldn't be more different. Administered under general anesthesia with muscle relaxants, ECT involves a brief, controlled electrical stimulation that induces a therapeutic seizure lasting less than a minute. This process triggers rapid changes in brain chemistry, often relieving severe depression in patients who've been resistant to every other treatment. While temporary memory loss and confusion are possible side effects, most people recover cognitive function quickly, and for many, the emotional relief outweighs the drawbacks. ECT is typically administered over several weeks, and its safety and efficacy have been refined over decades. For those in life-threatening despair, ECT isn't a last resort. It's a breakthrough, a reset, and sometimes a literal lifesaver. So, what's the best treatment for mental health? The truth is, there's no single answer, only the right combination for each unique person. For some, lifestyle shifts may be enough to stabilize mental well-being. For others, talk therapy provides a lifeline to insight and growth. Medications may correct underlying biological imbalances. And in some cases, more intensive interventions like ECT offer the key to recovery. What's most important is realizing that mental health is personal and treatment should be, too. Progress often unfolds slowly, with setbacks and breakthroughs, trial and error. But the journey is worth it. Effective treatment does exist. People do get better, and hope is never out of reach. As we wrap up this deep dive into mental health treatment, I want to leave you with one essential truth. Seeking help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of immense strength. Whether you're just starting your journey or deep in the process, you deserve to be supported, understood, and empowered. In the description below, you'll find curated links to resources, crisis lines, therapist directories, mindfulness tools, support groups, and evidence-based guides on every treatment we've covered. Please don't hesitate to explore them. And if this video helped you in any way, if it gave you hope, clarity, or just reminded you that you're not alone, consider sharing it with someone who might need it. Subscribe to @Zacaprat and turn on notifications for weekly videos that dig deep into mental wellness and emotional resilience. Together, we can build a culture that doesn't just talk about mental health during crises, but supports it daily with compassion, curiosity, and courage. You're not broken. You're human. And there's help. There's healing. And there's a future worth fighting for.